morning. The next experiment is bending or deflection test. Here, this is the specimen, and we have a mark on specimen. So this is the distance between the extreme mark is called as a gauge length of the specimen. This is the point at we are applying the load. So the type of support for this specimen is simply supported type, or it is called as simply supported beam. Now the load will be applied at the center. So gauge length or the distance between the two roller support is 300 millimeter, and to take the breadth and width, it is 20 by 20. Both B and D is equal to 20, and gauge length L is 300 millimeter. Now we can copy those readings. Gauge length plus 300, and B is 20, D is also 20. Now let us start the experiment. Now we will keep the specimen on the two roller supports. We have two roller supports, and this marks, extreme marks, should be on the roller exactly. You just make sure that it is on the roller, exactly on the roller, and keep it exactly at the center. Now after placing the specimen, you need to change the setup of the attachment for the bending. So this is the bending attachment for the cross head. So you need to change this attachment and you need to add this attachment for the bending. So next is before starting the experiment, you need to remove the dead weights. So that we have explained in the previous experiments. So you can do the same procedure to remove the dead weights. Now you can move the cross head near to the specimen by using the up and down button. After moving it to the specimen, now you can start applying the load by switching on the hydraulic button. Right now it is on, and slowly open this hydraulic knob to apply the load. And you need to take a reading for every 0.5 kilonewton load. Take the displacement or every 0.5 kilonewton load, like 0.5 kilonewton, 1 kilonewton, 1.2 kilonewton, 2 kilonewton, like that you need to take the reading for every 0.5 interval. Now I will release the valve to apply the load. Now the load is applying on the specimen. It is 4.8. Six, it is 5.2 displacement. 7, 5.5. For 7.5, it is 6 millimeter displacement. Here you need to note down the yield point. The load will be dropped. You need to watch it carefully to get the reading for yield strength, yield load. Now the load is dropped. Here it is 7.48 to 7.44. So 7.4 is a yield point. Now the load is increasing again. Yeah, 7.44 or 7.46 is the yield point. The corresponding displacement is 7.9. 7.5, it is 8.1.
Sorry.
Now load, maximum load will go up to 12 kilonewton, not beyond that. The corresponding 12 kilonewton, now we have noted the displacement as 39.9 millimeter. And load at fracture will be same, because we are not going up to the fracture point, because it will not undergo fracture since it is a mild steel specimen. If it is a wooden specimen, it will go to fracture point. So the fracture point will be the same, 12 kilonewton, and the deflection at fracture point is 39.9 millimeter. And the next point is very, very important, load at yield point, that we have noted. Load at yield point as 7.46 kilonewton. Load at yield point is 7.46 kilonewton. After taking the observations, now we can go for the calculation. If you see the calculation, here first we need to find out the moment of inertia. It is equal to I is equal to BD cube by 12. B is the breadth and D is the depth. So answer will be 1333.3 millimeter power 4. Next is the Young's modulus. To find out the Young's modulus, we have an equation W by delta, that is a slope from the graph. You need to draw the graph, load versus deflection, into L cube, it is a gauge length, divided by 48I. I is here, that is moment of inertia. Now we need to find out the slope. Draw the graph. We have already drawn here. So the graph, because the tabular column, we have a tabular column, load versus deflection. Load versus deflection. So that is W versus deflection is delta. So if you draw the tabular column graph, the graph will be like this. We'll have a straight line region at the beginning. Then the curve takes diversion. So here we are going to take the slope value. You can easily find out, but slope is 2.4 kilonewton per millimeter, because it is load versus deflection. So that slope can be substituted here W by delta into L cube by 48I. That you can calculate the Young's modulus for this corresponding slope. Next is the maximum bending moment. So maximum bending moment, the formula is Wy, that is bending moment at yield point into L divided by 4. Yield point bending moment is 7.46 kilonewton into 300 divided by 4, that is 559.5 kilonewton millimeter. Next is the section modulus, that is Z. It is equal to I by Y, where I is moment of inertia, that is 13333.3 divided by Y. Y is given by Y is equal to D by 2, that is depth by 2. Depth is 20 divided by 2, that is 10 millimeter. You can substitute 10 millimeter here, Y. So answer will be 133.33 millimeter cube. Next is the stress at limit of proportionality, or it is also called as maximum stress at limit of proportionality, is equal to bending moment at the yield point, or M max, divided. So the stress at limit of proportionality, sigma max, is equal to maximum bending moment divided by Z. Bending moment is 559.5 kilonewton millimeter divided by Z, that is 1333.3. So we'll get the answer 419.6 Newton per millimeter square. Next is the bending moment at rupture point. Rupture point is nothing but fracture point. Fracture point, we have assumed the fracture point as 12 kilonewton. So now the formula is W means load at rupture into L divided by 4. It is the bending moment at rupture. You can substitute the value of W rupture as 12 kilonewton into L 300 divided by 4. That is the bending moment at rupture. Now modulus of rupture is equal to bending moment at rupture divided by Z. So bending moment at rupture, will get the answer in the previous equation, and Z is 1333.33 millimeter cube. Substitute it and we'll get the answer for modulus of rupture. So we have Young's modulus, maximum bending moment, section modulus, stress at limit of proportionality, bending moment at rupture, and modulus of rupture. Thank you.